this couple of people went to Javindra Bhai Shah to see that what makes him so special, why people recommend him as a guru of sales. So as they went there, they just saw that there was a short guy, and in that shop there were a lot of foreigners.
So whenever doctor need to go for the admission for their kids, they used to consult. If they need to change the tile of their hospital or home, they used to consult the medical rep and the people over there, because they feel that these people are the smarter people in the community. And in fact, that was and a lot of things were there. I remember my seniors, the way they dress up, the way they groom themselves, the way they never I never saw my seniors. They were keeping their bag down, always keeping their bag on their lap. They are keeping that the bag is a prestige for them. Namaste. Friends, welcome to the Let's Talk Show. Let's Talk Show brings lot of value in your understanding, knowledge, and overall wisdom. Friends, we bring industry experts, entrepreneurs, and the people, those who have gone through really struggle time, and the lot of inspiration you can get from this show and the talk what these people are doing on Let's Talk Show. In this 15th episode of Let's Talk Show, we have someone who has more than 2 decades of experience in sales. He started his career from pharmaceutical sales, and now he is a coach and mentor for many salespeople. So let's welcome Mr. Kalpesh Trivedi, who runs his own consultancy and organization called Enhance Skills. Friends, if you also feel that you have a story to tell, you have gone through something which will be very helpful for all our audience, please share your details. We would like to invite you for the Let's Talk Show. So let's enjoy all his journey. Mr. Kalpesh Trivedi is sharing about his journey about sales and how to become a successful salesman. So, Kalpesh ji, thank you so much for joining for this wonderful podcast, Let's Talk Show. Let's Talk Show bring lot of value for the audience and the people, those who are watching and learning from Let's Talk Show. So, for our audience, the important thing is Kalpesh ji is a very hardcore sales trainer. Before trainer, he is a salesperson. He started his career from pharmaceutical industry, and he is really helping the industry people in terms of increase their sales capabilities. So he is not only restricted to any especially domain, and he is helping other people also. Today we will be going to learn a lot of things from Mr. Kalpesh Trivedi, and we will be going to have a lot of insights what from his career, his experiences, and like this. So Kalpesh ji, thank you so much for joining today.
So Pankaj, thank you very much, and I would request you to call me Kalpesh or KT. I think people would relate with me KT more. So all my friends call me KT. So I think you can feel free and
Yeah. So I remember we are a part of a WhatsApp group where we see there is a morning message sales soch, and there is a name written as a KT if you see there. So that's your abbreviation. This is how people remembers you. Right. So wonderful. So Kalpesh, please share about your journey. How have you traveled? What all things you overcome? What made you to come to this business of consulting?
absolutely. So before that, I'd like to congratulate you for a fantastic journey. So I think to do what the kind of work what you're doing consistently, that too on weekends after hardcore, I can understand as an L&D head, your week as it is must be being very hectic, but still you have passion to do this video coverage, invite people, capture the journey. So I like to congratulate you for that.
Thank you so much.
I have been following it, and I feel privileged to be here. So my journey has been not so complicated. It has been pretty blessed. So my journey has been in three parts. I come from a graduation which I did it in commerce. Accidentally landed in pharma. Spent 13 years in pharma. Fortunately, worked with good Fortune 500 companies, some fantastic leaders. Was fortunate enough to get promotion every 2 years, 3 years. So grew in my ladder for about 13 years. And last 12 years have been working as a L&D consultant, wherein we are into training as well as we consult on sales and marketing to several SMEs, MSMEs, as well as large corporations.
Yeah, wonderful. The important thing is what you mentioned that accidentally came into the sales, especially the pharmaceutical sales. So I interviewed many people. I rarely see somebody says that comes and says that sales. I wanted to be in the sales, right? I remember my own scenario. I was doing my teaching in the college as an assistant professor on an ad hoc basis, and I was preparing for my administrative exams. Something happened in the family. I lost my father, and then I come back to my own hometown, and I was looking for some opportunity, right? So I got this opportunity as a medical rep. I was not at all knowing the word of what is called medical rep, and then journey begins. And I feel that all the great leaders in the industry, especially in pharmaceutical industry, they fall into this sales and marketing, and they grew up their ladder into their career like this. What made you to choose sales as a career? One says, what we said is accidentally, that's right. But what made you to continue that?
Yeah. So the place from where I'm sitting now is my first, partner or consulting assignment. And this company started about 12, 13 years back. So the CEO of this company happens to be my friend, and I've known him for last 25, 27 years. So when we were pursuing graduation in BCom, as you shared, I also had a similar experience. My mom was detected with cancer. And at that time, we wanted to do an MBA. So the journey started कि CA करना है. Then the journey went on to कि MBA करना है. And while we were just discussing one day in the society, so he happens to be a pharmaceutical distributor. So he shared with me that there is a company called Eli Lilly, which is a very,
Hmm.
very large global organization. And they are looking at people who are graduates, and they are also open to look at BCom candidates.
Yeah.
So why don't you go there, explore? You can take 1 or 2 years of experience and do your MBA. So I went there for the interview. I got selected, and post that, I think the MBA always remained the second priority because then the journey started off well. Within 2.5 years, I was an ABM. Within 8, 9 years, I was an RBM. So then MBA always took the backseat. So that is how
Hmm.
I entered into the profession. Recommendation from one of my friend who was a distributor, and post that it has been a wonderful journey in Eli Lilly, AstraZeneca, and my last organization was Chiron Panacea, which was joint venture between Novartis and Panacea. So fantastic 13 years. So that's how the journey continued.
Very nice. Wonderful. So Kalpesh, you do a lot of programs for the sales people, especially for the middle level management people like the RBMs, ZBMs, and like this. Share few important things which will be helpful for the upcoming, the aspirant, those who really wanted to shape up their career in the pharmaceutical or any other industry. What are the few attributes or the skill really required for you to upcoming, to go high in the ladder?
So one thing I absolutely feel is I would like to see and meet people who say that, okay, I came to sales as a choice. Somehow sales has a very negative connotation. Like if I generally also when ask a lot of, participants in our training that what comes to your mind when we talk about sales? So things comes
Hmm.
like pushy, influence, maybe in the typical Indian language, chepna. So I think sales comes with a lot of negative connotation, but all of us who have spent our time life in sales, we understand that it is not as negative as it is perceived. So my first priority is to change the perception of sales as a profession. So how we look at sales as a profession and how we look at ourselves as a sales professional is going to determine how we sell. So my first this thing, the important element what we have been discussing on the mindset that how we look at sales as a profession. Like we know, I think you have interviewed multiple people who have moved from medical rep to managing director, and today they are consulting. Maybe we are talking about Hariram sir, and we have
Yeah.
many such cases in the industry who have moved. But still, sales has that negative connotation, and most of the people would say that okay, I have come not with the design but accident. So that is one thing which is changing. Second, I strongly feel that the way we buy has changed phenomenally in last few years. So have we also changed the way we sell? So whether it is pharmaceutical selling or any other kind of selling, as a buyer, our mentality has really changed in last few years. So
Mhm.
what we have been also trying to sensitize people is that until and unless we don't change the way we sell, maybe things are going to be difficult for us. So what was changing in last 10 years, now it is changing in a year. So are we adopting our style to those changes? So these are three important elements. So we speak about, of course, mindset, which is going to be absolutely important. We generally also combine some fundamentals of selling, which will always remain true, with some new age concepts, which are very interesting. And that is how our product, or our the whole module gets emerged with every trade.
Mhm. Very nice. The way you look at things, the things you look at change. And
Absolutely.
if you don't change, you change.
So
So
I think
important.
the classical
Yeah.
example was Kodak used to sell memories, and now
Mm.
Kodak is a memory. So I think that is how people have been looking at it. So look, I think change now is not an optional thing. I think the way you
Yeah.
and I worked as a medical rep and the way the medical rep works today, there is an 360-degree change in that. So
Yeah.
are we able to coach and train them accordingly is also the question.
Yeah, I was talking to now, as you mentioned regarding Hariram sir, regarding Deep Bhandari sir. Now, and some more on my this Let's Talk show. They have shared that now do we have a role models in the industry? Do we have a culture of coaching? Do we have a understanding the needs and the setting of the goals of our people? Now, Kalpesh ji, just help us in understanding, looking into the urgency and the exigencies for the performance. How someone as a young leader or maybe a frontline manager or second line manager really sustain in this thing that the from upper side the pressure is keep on coming for the performance, and at the bottom you have your people and your team members there. So how will you develop that resilience and the resistance, especially so that the pressure what you are getting, it should not be loaded down to the down people over there, otherwise they will break. This is what where I feel this is the bottleneck where a lot of leaders actually they need to really understand this importance. Please help us in sharing in your programs what all things you do, and what would you like to suggest.
So I recently read an article and I think it was absolutely related to middle management, how that job is difficult. So they talk about there are three roles of a middle manager. One, he is a translator. Second, he is a coach. And third, he is something like a measuring tape. So he's somebody who, you know, uh, have tools for measurement, does measurement. So a middle manager needs to understand three things. That one, of course, company's vision, mission, and values are absolutely important. Company's
Mhm.
top objectives are very important, but how they can translate it into simple language and communicate to their team is the first thing which they need to learn. That maybe the funnel cannot be straight. The funnel has to be that okay, it will come in a different way to you, but do you have the ability to translate it into a simple language and make the team feel that okay, what they need to do and how they are contributing to the larger picture. Second role what he plays is he keeps on changing the hat. Sometimes he has to be a coach, sometimes he has to be a mentor, sometimes he has to be a teacher. And what I feel is people don't understand maybe very, thin line differences between all these three, four roles and how to switch those caps. And third, I think generally, if I look at my career also, I feel that as most of the managers, we are very poor in terms of measuring things. So how we are able to put some, dashboards, timelines, how we are measuring it. So in nutshell, for any middle manager, I feel these three are extremely important. Coming back to pharmaceutical selling, I feel that things have not, I don't think that the demands have increased. I think people's threshold of taking stress has reduced. And today, maybe when they are working with the millennials or the Gen Alpha, maybe their expectation, maybe their resignation is always ready on the desktop. It is a just matter of one incidence and they would put it across. So that makes it little complicated for the current line managers. So I feel the current line managers also what helped them yesterday will not help them tomorrow. First, they need to keep themselves very updated how things are changing. They should be able to bring insights when they are, working with people. They should be genuinely interested in them. And I feel maybe it is a combination of multiple things.
Yeah. Very nicely shared regarding these things. Now, I remember when I joined the industry, right? Those days, my senior used to tell me that, whenever we were visiting any X station, outstation, doctor used to gather and come and receive us. So I was thinking that what joke these people are cracking. But over a period of time, I realized that was true. When I hear it from my customers, from my doctors, that this was the time and the scenario. Now my time, doctor were giving times, they were entertaining, and we were able to build very good relationship. Even I am still in the part of the doctors WhatsApp group, right? So whenever doctor need to go for the admission for their kids, they used to consult. If they need to change the tile of their hospital or home, they used to consult the medical rep and the people over there, because they feel that these people are the smarter people in the community. And in fact that was, and a lot of things were there. I remember my seniors, the way they dressed up, the way they groomed themselves, the way they never, I never saw my seniors, they were keeping their bag down, always keeping their bag on their lap. They are keeping that the bag is a prestige for them. This is the identity for a medical rep, right? So this is the era, and how now things are changing. Now and the change in the pace of this transformation and the changes is huge, right? Help us in understanding how 1990s, 2000, and now 2020 and 2025 and 2030, the amalgamation of technology and all these things, reducing air chamber time with the doctors, right? What would you like to suggest?
So one thing which immediately comes to my mind is when I started my career 25 years back, we had three area managers in Mumbai, and all three area managers were in their 35s, 38 at that time, who became area managers after a lot of experience. But today you get to see a lot of area managers at 24, 25, 23. So I don't feel that, the role has changed, but we were blessed to have more experienced and seasoned professionals. Second, as you said, maybe how we look at the profession also is very important. Somebody was not keeping a bag downstairs, or somebody was dressing it because the way he perceived about that profession was very good. So when any new joinees come, are we able to sensitize them that you have joined a noble profession? And I think today you are going to educate doctors, which is one of the, you know, community with high wisdom is second
Mm.
thing. And I also strongly feel, I don't think people feel that. In fact, I consult today quite a few companies. I work with a lot of youngsters. And in fact, when I see the way they build relationship with doctors, I don't think that I would have ever been able to do. If my boss told me after before 15 years, please call up this cardiologist from Hinduja, I would think twice. And today's medical rep is in touch with the doctor on WhatsApp, on Zoom, on Instagram, on different touch points. Maybe a doctor is posting something, he's passing a comment. So the relationship has gone to a different level today. And today also, people who have understood that now being in connect with the doctor is about different touch points, and it is not only in-person visit. And people who have built relationships, I know of a few doctors who sends, area managers of my consulting clients voicemails at 11 o'clock in the night. कि प्लीज कल आ जाना, ये तीन चार चीजें के बारे में बात करनी है. So things have changed. So
Mhm.
people who have understood the change, and especially I feel at a managerial level, they needs to be sensitized that things have changed, and the way you need to coach your people need to also to be changed. So it is not about, I would not feel that currently people are not equipped to build relationship, but the scenario is different. So can we train them to do that?
Correct. So training is a very important part here. What I understood from the conversation. Now, what has changed because of the technology? I remember we were having the visual aid, right, and we used to detail a doctor, and that gives us an opportunity to discuss more in-depth science. And this is considered to be a knowledge industry. So I remember one of my time when I started my career. There was a doctor, Dr. S.S. Chauhan, a very senior doctor, and he was a doctor, means he was absolutely the hardcore scientific doctor who do not tolerate any nonsense in the chamber. If you talk something sense, he will entertain you, respect you and everything. But if you talk, the moment you start talking nonsense and just only for the request, please prescribe, he was the most angriest person in the cabin. So I simply asked him that, doctor, why this happens, that for many of the company you don't write at all any single brand, but for some two, three companies you write four, four, five brands. He gave me a very wonderful answer. He said that, Pankaj, I don't know about the company. I don't know about their management. I know the people, those who are coming to me. Do you have something to offer to me? Do you have some offer? Doesn't mean that the refrigerator, fridge, and all the other things. Do you really add value to my knowledge? The patient I treat, I am not having time to go through these manuals and the journals and what the latest updates. I respect people, those who comes with some knowledge, those who can really contribute to my current practice, and I go with them. So this is what and I feel that looking into the time constant in today's time in the scenario, this is reducing drastically.
Absolutely. So I can completely relate to what you shared. And when you were telling about this, it reminded me about three stories which we generally share when we are talking with the sales team. And one of these stories is about a sari salesman called Jayendra Bhai Shah. He is a sari salesman in Kalbadevi market in Mumbai. And somebody told that, okay, if you really want to learn about sales, go to Jayendra Bhai Shah. And so I will cut the story short, so that we can get the crux. So this couple of people went to Jayendra Bhai Shah to see that what makes him so special, why people recommend him as a guru of sales. So as they went there, they just saw that there was a short guy, and in that shop there were a lot of foreigners. And this short guy was talking about maybe generally wishing them in their local language, telling them what they want in Spanish. So these people were wondering that he seems to be a very educated guy, and why he
Mhm.
needs to, be in sari selling. So they waited over there and asked Jayendra Bhai. So Jayendra Bhai told that maybe there are 1,000 shops in Kalpadevi market. Every shop has about 10 people. So there are 10,000 sales professionals. I am
Mhm.
only 12th pass, but I realized very early in my life that if I really want to differentiate from these 10,000 people, I will have to build some brand uniqueness for myself. And that is how I realized that there are a lot of Spanish and French speaking people. So I've just learned 10 phrases. How are you? What would you like to have? Thank you very much. And people started connecting with me a little more. So coming
Mhm.
back to the example what you shared today also, maybe unfortunately or fortunately, there are 40,000 registered pharmaceutical companies. At any given point of time, a doctor sees at least 100 to 200 medical reps in a month.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what are you bringing to the table? Are you bringing differentiation in terms of your knowledge? That doctor is
Mhm.
looking forward to see you and कि चलो आज मुझे कुछ पंकज सर आ रहे हैं तो कुछ नया सीखने मिलेगा, or are you bringing your difference in terms of skill? A lot of doctors also look forward to see you. Okay, yeah, now this person comes, at least I will enjoy the conversation with him. He will
Mhm.
bring some element of fun, or maybe that 5 minutes would be really good worth spending with him. Or even we have seen attitude, like maybe the people's regularity. So, what is the brand uniqueness what you are bringing? Are we able to first help our medical reps identify that, and are we able to, so I'm sure you and me both would have seen, not necessarily the most knowledgeable was the most productive, not necessarily the most hardworking was the most productive. Somebody was more productive because he was good in doing activities, somebody was more productive because he was knowledgeable. So rather than making a superman, am I able to identify, you know help people identify their strength and sharpen it. I think that is the whole game today.
Mm.
It's something what I feel.
Very nice. Now coming to the very important point here, that is the scenario which I am sharing with you, that there are people, right? A rep and the manager is going to meet a doctor, and the way the manager treat this rep, and take an example that last month was drastically completely, he was not able to achieve his budget, and he was able to achieve 75% of his target. Now how this manager will begin the communication and the discussion? First three sentences, it says that how you set the tone and the initial conversation. That's the basics for your relationship, for especially for this 2 to 3 days of that field work. I am seeing that whatever the bad experience I had of last month, closing has already done. It is nothing to do with this month. They start from last month, because of which I was unable to achieve. Because of I was 30% down in my overall this. So started blaming, right? What happens, you are about to begin your day, you are about to meet your 10, 12 customer for the day, but the entire day gone waste. Now this, understand the psychology and the mindset of this person who is a salesperson, who needs to be high in his energy level, high is in the physiology and the psychological level. Now he completely goes down. What will going to happen this today's day's performance and the meeting with this 10, 12, 15 doctors? Rather at the same time, if you just start appreciating for the good thing, it doesn't happen that everybody is always a non-performer, right, throughout the year, right? So I always tell people that begin your day with three positive emotions whomsoever you meet, right? Performance, non-performance is always okay. I remember one of my the senior colleague called Mr. R.D. Mathur. He always used to tell, agar banda hai to dhanda hai. है ना?
Right.
तो ये छोटी छोटी चीजें, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होती हैं. एंड समवन नीड टू रियली रिमेंबर एंड अंडरस्टैंड. एंड टुडेज वर्ल्ड, नो वन इज देयर इन द सेल्स एंड मार्केटिंग हु डोंट वांट टू रियली परफॉर्म. And for non-performance, there are 100 reasons are there. Your top selling brand is getting short in the market. It is not there in the market. Maybe the reason. Maybe the core customers are there who was giving you the around contributing 30-40% of business. They may be going for some outstation or maybe abroad for some vacation or something. There are multiple reasons are there. So finding out those particular reasons and giving them the confidence. Okay, last month whatever happened has happened. Can we really shape up this month? I have full confidence in you. You did, that was the month you did very good. These four customers are there. I saw you are having very wonderful, the relationship. How do you maintain those relationships, which will be helpful for other colleagues also? Can you please share it with me? Can we meet? So the simple thing is that begin your day with the three positive emotions before you go for this. And in today's scenario, managers rarely see all those nuances, the small nitty-gritties and the granular aspects, which needs to be taken care at most.
Absolutely. So I was just relating to one of your videos that how the smile disappears when the doctors don't, tend to prescribe. So the first call you smile wholeheartedly, and then slowly. Uh, so as a matured line manager, so again it all depends. Also, as I shared, that today's line managers are between 24 to 30-year-old. The second line manager needs to spend a lot of time in terms of invest a lot of time in terms of making them feel. So I remember my second line manager who used to tell me that never judge a person only on sales performance. So there are four parameters. One is their sales performance, second is their non-sales performance, third is their activities, and fourth is their competencies. So sometimes when a person is exhibiting very good in competencies and activities, but had bad 2 months, so can we look at things more neutrally? And now the time is not about, I think Ken Blancard talks about energy management, and in one of his video, he talks about that our manager, see, when somebody is already not performing, he's feeling down. You want
Yeah.
to degrade him more, so then you are, what's going to worsen the performance even more. So all those maturity, but I feel that today's line manager requires a lot of hand holding, and
Yeah.
off lately, so we have been doing this leadership programs for quite a few organizations, and organization also have started realizing that, so the model what we follow is we take only one competency in 15 days for 1.5 hours. 15 days they are supposed to execute that. So such handholding is required. We cannot expect people to be matured from day one. Of course, all these things we have learned with experience, with doing mistakes, but we can't expect a 26-year-old manager to start doing it from day one if we don't train and sensitize.
Amazing. I really like this, and the responsibility of line manager is huge. And here, as you said, that the if the line manager, if we are able to give the right coaching and the right training to the line managers, I think the things can be taken care. We can really reduce the attrition. So selling is not a one-time phenomena. If your customer is not responding you in the first visit, second visit, third visit, and it's a long time, like you are having so many customers, they are also having so many people coming from various companies, and every doctor is having their own standard. Some doctor, they visit, they would like to see that how many visits have you given. Some doctors really looking for some scientific information. Some customers are looking for some long term engagement in scientific activities, doing CMEs, patient camps, and like this. So that customization is really required, where the role of a manager, because this guy may be new in the that particular headquarter in the town, but you are experienced, you know about your customer. That is why I always used to suggest to people, we did it in the previous organization. Always keep the profiling of the customer, where the personalities, understanding about the personalities of the customers plays a very important role. And broadly in psychology, it is said that there are total overall 400 personalities are there, and these 400 personalities are drilled down to the four personalities, right? So I always talk in my workshops, selling skill workshops, to the managers, and they if you train the line managers, I think your majorly job is done. Because if you train them, they can train their people, the 5 people, 6 people, whatever the number of people are there, and that's the best way to move them ahead. And performance is the kind of thing which will definitely going to come if we are really coaching them well, if we really helping them well. And then another thing, during joint field work, that is called the demonstration call and the observations call, where my colleagues are really getting stuck. Right. So do you do something, and how do you see this OJT, on the job training kind of thing?
So one thing is, I think there is a lot of overemphasis on planning, but I feel that maybe there are three P's which are extremely important, which any manager should teach their team. That it is not only planning, it is also profiling, as you said. That I think the more I know about the customer, the more I'll be able to connect with him or her at the call.
Yeah.
So I think we know about hundreds of such examples. So wherein for one of my consulting client, we met a very important doctor for dinner. For first 20-25 minutes, we were not able to connect with him. Then we just remembered that he had put one photograph on Instagram where he and his son were playing tennis. And we started speaking about tennis, and maybe next 10-15 minutes of conversation went into so much of engagement. And finally, the doctor only told me, "अच्छा लो 4 product अपन consider करते हैं." So a lot of times we know that most of the buying decision, whether it is a doctor or a consumer, is taken by heart, and then we justify by brain. But when we tend to sell, we only look at the rational part. So can I look at the emotional part where profiling would really play a role? So today, if I tell Pankaj about something about MP or your hometown or your school, of course you would like to, you'll connect with me much better. Third, I think the biggest element what we all miss is the practice. Somehow, as we grow in our ladder, we feel that practice करने की जरूरत नहीं है. And I've seen very few sales reps who would invest time in terms of practicing or preparing. Okay, चलो today I'm going to write about this 10 questions, spin selling. So maybe ये questioning model पे मैं 10 question लिखता हूँ. Yeah, let me write. So I know of representative who would even go to the market preparing कि अगर मुझे frontline desk वाला मिलेगा तो रिसेप्शनिस्ट को मैं ये 3 क्वेश्चन पूछने वाला हूँ, फार्मासिस्ट को मैं ये 4 क्वेश्चन पूछने वाला हूँ, सिक्योरिटी गार्ड को मैं ऐसे हाई बोलने वाला हूँ, और डॉक्टर को ये 6 क्वेश्चन पूछूं. So somewhere maybe, and that preparation, the key to preparation is this. So when you are sensitizing a medical rep, you are sensitizing him in all these things, that it is not what you do in those 2 minutes of call, but what you do in the rest 4-5 hours. of the day is what you prepared for this. So this 3P is something which I normally sensitize. Second, I also tell them that you don't, maybe generally we know that we have a tendency to replace our people inside the call, and it is very tempting. Hey, doctor को मैं वापस कभी मिलूंगा. But again, at the same time, maybe as you spoke about demonstration, can I be very, very clear? So coaching has 4 steps, which you would also relate. That one, when I will do when I am alone. Second, I do and you watch me. Third, you do now 3, 4 calls and I watch you. And fourth is you start doing it when you are alone. And fifth step is you start teaching it in our review meetings to our new people. So this cycle we should never forget, that we should not replace them, but the demonstration cycle can be before I do it in a call, पहले मैं खुद prepare करूँ. Then I showcase in 2, 3 calls and he observes me or she observes me. Then she does in 4, 5 calls, I observe. Then he or she does it alone. And then she teaches or he teaches one of his team members. Can we follow this kind of cycle?
Yeah. And the most important thing is, nothing comes instantly. And people need to really remember, if you are unable to perform practice, if you feel you're not confident, practice, if you feel your customers are not responding, practice, if you really wanted to have the expected result and the outcome and the performance, practice. So, and this practice really require a lot of patience and the perseverance, especially till the time you won't get the kind of confidence which is required for you to achieve success. Now, here the example of Michael Phillip. Somebody asked him that you are the most, the medal winner in this entire gamut. Then he said that it is not a magic. I spend, 8 hours in a water. If anybody comes and spend more than that, he also can become a champion. So the success principles are not so certain. The secret and the kind of hidden thing. Anybody who do practice can achieve that performance.
Absolutely. And maybe I think through that, there is a model which has come across, which is called as a P2P model, which is practice to performance model. That
Yeah.
maybe 10 hours of practice may improve your that 2 minutes, 5 minutes in a call. So how are you, constantly focusing on practicing? And today we get a lot of time. So practically, if you're doing 10 calls in a day, 3 minutes, it is 30 minutes. So maybe there are about 7, 8, 9 hours where you are constantly thinking, can I, चलो मैं एक बार प्रोफाइल देख लेता हूँ डॉक्टर का, एक उनका इंस्टा देख लेता हूँ, करंटली क्या हुआ, लेट मी मेक सम क्वेश्चंस, लेट मी गो थ्रू वन स्टडी, चलो मैं साइंटिफिक पेपर पे थोड़ा हाईलाइट कर लेता हूँ. सो व्हाट यू डू व्हेन यू आर नॉट डूइंग द कॉल डिटरमाइंस योर सक्सेस. आई थिंक दैट इज extremely important.
Very nice. Now moving from pharmaceutical world to other industry, what is the difference? What is the difference in the skill set you see?
So I strongly feel, so currently we are blessed to do programs right for different industries. So we are doing selling skills for diagnostic, so healthcare, of course. Then we are doing it for IT. We are doing it for insurance. So I think fundamentals of selling always remains the same. Sales is always
Yeah.
going to be a rejection business. You will have to listen to 100 no's before you listen to one yes. So you cannot be
Yeah.
very fragile. So
Hmm.
I strongly feel that 4 principle works in all the industry. That today sales is not only about acquiring new customer, but the other 3 elements are very, very important. That how I can retain my current customer for a longer duration of time, how I can ensure that my current customer takes few more offerings from my side, and last is how I reactivate my old customers. So now people say that if you really have a database of clients and old customers about 200 to 300, at least you can do business for your lifetime if you know how to constantly focus on all the 4. So acquiring a new customer always takes a lot of more effort and money as compared to the other 3 things, which I would
Hmm.
repeat. The second is how I create a customer experience that I retain my current client for a longer time. Third, how my current client who is taking 1 or 2 offerings from me start taking more offerings from me. And fourth, how I can stay in touch with my old prospects who did not buy from me, but I can reactivate them. So now all progressive companies, besides healthcare, because healthcare is a little different, have started realizing that existing customer, how I can create that level of customer obsession is the whole game. And rather than, just focusing on new lead generation.
Wonderful. So a lot of insights are coming here. Kalpesh, anything you would like to share to our, the audience, especially the pharmaceutical and the non-pharmaceutical leaders, managers?
One thing, maybe I think that sales, everybody wants to buy, nobody wants to be sold. So sales is purely about having a good conversation and just nudging the customer to buy. So that art comes with having a quality conversation, and somewhere we are forgetting the art of having quality conversation. So maybe one framework which I will like to leave people with, I think that can be very, very helpful, because that is one framework which has helped in all the last 30-35 trainings what I have done. People have come back that ये framework हमें काफी help किया. So Pankaj ji, you are from which is your hometown?
My hometown is in Madhya Pradesh called Khandwa.
तो अगर मैं खंडवा इंदौर जा रहा हूँ तो which are the 3 places which I must visit?
You can visit Asirgarh is a fort, very old fort, Mandu, and I feel Indore itself is a town. Or if you are more of that kind of Ujjain and Omkareshwar are the two Jyotirlingas which you can visit.
Absolutely. So all of us, maybe including you, me, we tend to get into solutions very fast. Probably, maybe I think what we miss in the conversation is maybe just those few subtle questions that are you going to come alone or with family? What kind of places you like to visit? Are you a foodie or not? Are you a vegetarian or you are a non-vegetarian? Are you looking at monuments or you are looking at forest areas? Because MP has everything to offer. So
Yeah.
based on that, can I, suggest one or two things which people would relate? And same is happening with our customers, our and family members, that we tend to get into the advice mode very fast. So the whole model talks about that maybe whenever you speak with somebody, whenever somebody is telling you something, can you acknowledge, accept, appreciate, agree that maybe I'm glad to know that you are coming to Indore or maybe Khandwa. So I is inquire, maybe would you like to tell something more? Pehli baar aa rahe ho, elaborate. And last A talks about advice only and only and only and only and only and only if required. So I think this is a guru mantra which I learned from my coach in last 3-4 years. So this has been developed by a person called Shekhar Chandrasekhar, who and I feel it is very, very relevant. So after a lot of trainings, a lot of senior managers or trainers have called me up and told कि AIA use करने के बाद मेरा relationship मेरे घर पे ही ज़्यादा improve हुआ. As even customers के साथ तो हुआ, but I have started now having better conversation with my family members.
Uh, Coming to this point, especially the customers, those who are very reserved, those who don't talk much, those who don't open up, but they speak if you are able to hear, right? Their body language, their the way they're set up, their clinic, everything is there. So the I remember my senior, one of my senior, he used to tell that पंकज बाकी लोगों के 5 सेंस होते हैं, सेल्स वालों के 6 एक अलग से सेंस होना चाहिए. So that intuitiveness, that observation, the ability to observe things. So for example, you are doing simple RCPA, what all things you observe, right? So rather than asking कि भैया सबसे ज्यादा कौन सा brand चल रहा है, see the brand which is near to that person who will keep, it is in the reach of that sales guy. Understand that, and another important thing, see the dustbin over there, the empty boxes. So multiple things, if you are having that stint of, the having good observation, you can really make, and that really helps you to shape up your entire call and the communication, especially before meeting the customer. Right. So I think many things are there into this, but good that we connected today morning and really discuss something which is more important and the valuable. Thank you so much. Yeah.
As you said, I think that is the reason people say that okay, God has given you 2 eyes, 2 ears, and 1 mouth. So use it proportionately. Agar if we tend to
Correct.
use it proportionately, probably we'll be able to
Mhm.
observe more, hear more, listen more, and
Yeah.
connect more with people.
Yeah. And now again coming to another thought, listen which is unsaid, which is not said.
Unsaid expertise. Absolutely.
Right? See which is not normally visible. Right. So these are the few things are there, and this is over and above. If someone really wanted to become successful in the professional life, personal life, anywhere, these things really plays a very very important role. And it's not me, it's not my product, it's not my company. Ask something about them. As you said that the Instagram, I will check. So rather than coming to and meeting a doctor and telling so doctor please prescribe this is my product, he is having this USPs, unique selling features, benefits, this that blah blah. Ask about them. Ask about them. That doctor, I saw your photograph. You recently visited so and so place. How was your experience? Sir, how was the climate over there? So it depends upon the kind of relationship, your presence in the chamber. Doctor really recognizes you, may be giving you the business, doesn't giving you the business is the secondary thing, but that human touch, the genuine smile in front of a customer. Doctor is the person who sees always the patient, those who are coming, having lot of sufferings and the pain and the problem. Can you really go with the genuine, honest smile on your face? And people, I observe that people, even this is the drawback in the community. People don't smile. I used to travel in the metro. I don't see people look at each other and smile. If you go to Europe and the other countries, at least they smile first. If somebody doesn't smile, they feel that there is some problem with this guy. He is in having some disease or something. We don't smile. We forget, the basic human instinct. Right. So these are the few important, the nuances are there which are missing in the community,
So as you
especially in
said,
this.
it reminds me. So it is all about not me-centric conversation. It is about you-centric conversation. We all
Yeah.
are, maybe if we agree or we don't agree, we all are selfish. If we take a family photograph, also the first person who will see in the photograph is our own photo. And if that photo is not come good, we'll feel that photo is not good. So with customer also, he is not interested in your product, your services. It is all about him. Sir, what do you feel? Your opinion. ये इंडिकेशन में आपका क्या फर्स्ट लाइन ट्रीटमेंट है, क्या challenges है, how can I support you, staff engagement. So now, so that is much today's medical rep needs to understand, have much more better conversations skill as compared to what it was in the past.
Great.
So
Yeah.
Kalpesh, you
So
have asked me a lot of questions. I will like to ask you one question before we end.
yeah, please.
Yeah. So what keeps you going? What keeps you doing this initiative?
Uh, what happened? I realized that I'm a reader. I read a lot, and I love meeting people. And my personal experience, Kalpesh, that this is what my hard, deep belief, which I developed over a period of time because of the experiences, that everyone comes to my life is to make me learn something. Maybe doesn't matter the qualification, doesn't matter the how he looks, doesn't matter what is the designation and the position. I was sharing. I was working in Hyderabad with one of the guy, my medical rep, and I was from head office corporate, and the guy name was Vamshi. And this guy was having phenomenal relationship with the customer. He never used to take an appointment with the forget about any big small doctor, and the moment he enters, doctor used to remember and recognize him. Vamshi means no one can say no. I was wondering, many companies, NSMs and the directors are coming, doctors are saying, no, no, we are not interested. I asked him simple question, what made you to build such relationship? He shared so many things. I realized that there are people, those who are, and it's not that we learn from the books only and all these great, resources. We learn from the people. And then the idea came into my mind, why not, let's build, the kind of communication. And this is what the thanks to the social media and the things are available very easily. And let's spread this knowledge amongst others. Let's, keep such initiative. So this idea came into my mind that what to do. Then I thought that the name I should keep is a Let's Talk. So let's talk to someone, to build value for others. And I do not know about others, but I really learn a lot whenever I'm, doing this conversation, talking to the people. You can think about the guy I really recently invited called Sahil Mehta. What a phenomenal coach. He's a leadership coach. He's an international leadership coach, very much in touch with Marshall Goldsmith, Stephen Covey, and like this. He's a best-selling author, and he's a mountaineer. He's having the businesses in 4 countries, and he's a fitness freak. So much to learn from people. Think about the Hariram sir, the way he shares about each and everything about his career. When he speaks, you actually travel along with him, the journey, what he successfully completed. Think about the person like Deep Bhandari. Right. Deep sir, I was reporting to him in my previous organization, but the way he talks about, the coaching, the way he talks about his experiences. So this is how, think about the person like Praveer Jha sir. A person moved from, the civil services to the corporate and then the global CHRO and like this, So these are all I should say, the gems of the people, right? Uh, Today we are here, tomorrow we may not be here. There will not be Kalpesh Trivedi, name will also not be there. So Kalpesh ji, let me ask you a question. Tell me the name of your grandfather.
Tell me the name of a grandfather.
Your grandfather.
Vinod Rai.
Very good. Tell me his grandfather's name.
Govindas. His grandfather, I don't know. Trikamji, I think. Trikamji.
So if I'll keep on telling you, you won't be able to remember. So the simple thing is that we may not be there for tomorrow, but can we share these experiences for the community, and this may be useful for someone? Right. So the way you shared so many nuggets in this, this entire Let's Talk show, this will be helpful for someone who may be struggling in his life, how to overcome upon the things. Right. So this is what the objective of keeping this Let's Talk show. And this is how, I am trying to build a community over there and trying to spread it out amongst the people.
So again, I would like to congratulate you for initiating this. Everybody initiates, but not everybody is consistent. You also have been very consistent on it. And though we have had only interaction couple of times, I think you come up as a very simple individual with a very good intent, I think, and that makes you special. So stay blessed.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Kalpesh ji, for taking out time and being our guest on this Let's Talk show. Right. We will see you again for some more podcasts like this.
Absolutely. Thank you.